Spice FM, hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're good, brother. How are you?
Not bad at all. This is Stephen. I'm calling from Kiambu.
What's your name again?
Stephen, I'm calling from
Steven.
Kiambu.
Karibu sana. What are your thoughts today?
Well, first of all, if you talk about intimacy in the African sense,
Yes.
this is a culture that is still quite new to us. I think we've acquired it as a practice. But for our generation that is now a lot more exposed,
Yes.
I think it is something that the people in their 30s and 40s are slowly beginning to warm up to. What I find interesting when I talk to some of my friends who are older,
Yes.
in their 50s and 60s, I'm in my late 30s now.
All right.
I gather that in their younger days, they were not so affectionate. And so in their relations with their women, they conditioned their women to get used to them in that state of not being so affectionate. But then something happened to them around the time they get to their 40s, 45, 50, thereabout. And now they start feeling more affectionate. But the expression of that becomes a problem because the lady in your company got used to the younger side of you that was not affectionate.
Right.
So you now switching to being affectionate in your older years it becomes something that she cannot understand.
Yes.
So perhaps it might be something that we start now appreciating as you get older. That's what they tell me. And not when you're younger. So I'm thinking for those who can practice it when they're younger,
Yes.
there may be benefits in that you have consistency throughout and you don't have to have a radical shift in your older years.
Yes.
But give or take, I think it is, I think both man and woman should find an arrangement that works for them. Because there are people that are not expressive, both ways. It could be a man, it could be the woman. There are those that are expressive, which is why I think at the point of mate selection, it is important that when you're looking at someone with whom you are equally yoked, it has to be equally yoked. You are equally yoked on different levels.
Yes.
So that you not only have the same values, but you also have to be, I think it's important for you to be equally yoked, let's say physically, so that you have the same rhythm.
Yes.
You know, you are equally yoked in terms of your values generally, perhaps in terms of your interests and some of the way you communicate. I think the more aligned you are, the better in terms of now looking at how do you relate? Are you going to be intimate? Are you going to be affectionate? Are we going to be, the old African, have the whole African practice and what you?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I think.
All right, definitely. Do you have any comments, Eric?
No, thank you so much for your thoughts, brother. I cannot agree with you more. So,
Karibuni sana.
asante sana.
There's something you've said about the older people. When the lady is conditioned
Yes.
with the old style, it's
Yes.
hard. Are they able to switch, or it's just something you just give up? But have you, in your experience, is there that ability to switch and turn around the relationship?
I think, speaking for myself, I happen to be an affectionate person.
Yes.
So I've had no problem with being expressive. I happen to be a natural communicator.
Yes.
And in my early days, when I did not know better, let's say I should put it at my 20s, I would not be intentional or deliberate in choosing partners that were aligned to me. For me, I was just having fun. So anything went. But then along the way, you realize that you are not matched. You're not a good match.
Yes.
But at this point in my life now, I'm a lot more educated. At least I'm not as ignorant as I was like 10 years ago. So that I now look for that because I see what could be a potential problem later on.
All right.
So there's some kind of benefit of insight at this point.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for calling, man. That was a very insightful phone call.
Karibuni sana.
Have a happy new year. What are your plans? Are you just going to be indoors?
I'm an indoor person, so I'm at home and I like it that way. But I may travel next week for about a few days and then see what guys were doing when I was at home.
All right. Have a happy 2020.
You too, guys. Thanks.
You know, Eric, he said something similar to what you said about the benefit of hindsight. I think it happens to us all. We grow and we learn.
Yeah.
And that is some of the excitement of going into a new year, because we'll be able to approach it differently.
Absolutely, and revise where the things we were poor at and hopefully improve and become better.